This video is about simplifying buildings in watercolour. Welcome back to my channel. This is Dave Lowe from Get Some Colour in Your Life, and this is a painting that was done by Alwyn Crawshaw. So this painting, I'm hopefully going to get this one right, and this is a tribute to Alwyn Crawshaw, who just recently passed away. And yeah, so I just wanted to do this one. I've sped the video up just a little bit, just to show you because I wanted to show you the pencil stage as well, with it being an important part of the painting process. So I didn't want to sort of cut anything out. I have edited it, but you can see the essence of the drawing as well. So if you know my story, I have shared it here on my channel. Alwyn Crawshaw is the first sort of painter that I discovered. It was a channel on, I think it was channel 4 here in the UK, A Brush with Art. And so when I saw him painting, it was just, I was fascinated. That's why I wanted to do this painting, and it's quite funny. I do have a book which this reference is from. It's one of his paintings. I'm just let me bring the camera to this side. I'm just mixing the blue for the sky, and it is almost a purpley sort of colour. So I want to get that colour if I can. So it's just cobalt blue, and it's probably a cad red that I'm using, just to get that nice purple colour. It's quite strong. You can see just a tiny bit, touch of that red, and it turns it completely purple. So there we go. I think that's enough pigment. And when you're doing like a sky wash, you need to make sure that you do get enough paint. But it's not the end of the world if you don't. If you do have to mix up some more, it's just if you get a different colour if you mix more. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of water, clean water hopefully. So I'm using a bigger brush for this, and I'm just painting in the sky. So I just want this to cut around the house, cottage, whatever it may be. So yeah, this painting in his book, it's all about simplifying buildings. And it goes on in the chapter to say you don't want to, if you're a beginner, you don't want to paint a busy street scene with lots of buildings in that, which is very wise. I think a few years ago it would have been me trying to paint the whole street and then have all the challenges of perspective and just trying to get everything right. And so yeah, just try and, when you're painting buildings, just when you're planning out, as you've seen, just go for the shapes. You got rectangles and triangles and all those shapes, and that's what you want to do just to simplify the scene, is get the shapes down first, big shapes first, and then go with your smaller shapes, and that's how you can simplify these scenes. So it is quite a nice painting, quite straightforward, and if you stay with me, we're going to have lots of tips and nuggets from Alwyn Crawshaw. It was actually on YouTube that I discovered that he had sadly passed. A channel, Inky Fingers, if you've come across him. I have seen a video of his before, and he was the one that said that Alwyn Crawshaw had passed. So yeah, it is quite purple, so I'm just going in with a bit more blue. This is cobalt blue, but any blue will be okay to use. I do usually use a French ultramarine, but I'm using my White Knights now for this one, just because it's here and I've been using it, so I'm just going along with it. And it doesn't matter really, as long as they're good pigments and it's something you like to use to get the results that you want. That's all that matters. I think if you get any sort of professional grade, will be fine. And yeah, so it's quite funny, this the book that I've got. I will show you the book shortly. We were actually out, me, my wife, my son and my mother-in-law, and he just got £5 off his mother-in-law, and we walked past a charity shop and there was this book in the window, Alwyn Crawshaw, and I said, oh, and I stopped and sort of looked at it and said, like, this is the guy who sort of first got me into watercolour painting. And my son went in and bought it for me. It was sort of $4.99, and so he spent his money on buying this book for me, knowing that how much it meant to me. So that was really nice of him. So it can be good sometimes. So I'm just adding, it's quite like neon green, but I will, I'm adding some yellow ochre to this part of the scene. It's just a bit of grass, and then you've got all these trees and things going into the building, sort of covering some of the spaces there. Yeah, I think I need a bit more yellow to this grass. It's more of a yellow colour. It doesn't matter, I'm not going for things exact, but we'll try and get there close. And then some of these trees, I'm going to paint them in now. I would usually start from the top and work my way down, so it would be normally the sky, then the roof, but I've done the sky and I want that to almost dry before I go on to paint anything else. But I'm doing this a little bit of a different way, and there's no real sort of reason, or it is what it is, just because the sky is wet. So some of this colour does actually come down, and I want a bit more darker, almost brown for these trees and whatnot. So I'm just adding a little bit of brown. I think this is raw sienna into the mix. I will go back in and adjust some of these colours and get a bit more depth to them, but just this is just covering the paper at the moment, and then we've got the grey roof. So I'm just tapping in the same as the sky mix, but just a little bit of indigo into that, which gives me a nice darker colour for the roof. There's a little white line sort of separating the corner of the roof, so let's get that in. So you just got to be careful cutting round and painting the areas that you're painting and not going over. In some places it doesn't really matter sometimes, but let's just try and keep this as clean as possible and show you how I'm doing things as I do. But yeah, bring the roof right down. You may have noticed I don't have the steadiest hand, but I just work that into my paintings and make a feature of it if I can. If I go wrong and go over something, I'll just incorporate that into the scene, which is fine. And then just this little section, the corner, which comes down like so. And we've got, while I've got this grey on my brush, it's good to just get all the areas that are the same colour. Saves you sort of mixing the colour, which I do sometimes do, well, a lot of times. Mix the colour and then have to go back in and mix another sort of batch of the same colour. So try and get all your, if you look at your painting, if you've got a lot of yellow ochre or something like that, look at all the places where you can put that colour, and then it saves a lot of messing as well. So I'm just going to let that dry because I don't want to touch into the roof as I do the windows. I want to clean mix and get more detail when it's dry. So this is the book which my son bought me, Alwyn Crawshaw, painting course, step-by-step guide to success. So it's a really nice book. You've got different paintings, different techniques and tips. So it's really, really handy. Can't say I've used it too much. I've taken out a couple of exercises, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, really, really handy to have. This is the painting that I'm doing. You can see the reference photograph, which is on this side. So it is slightly different to the painting that is done, but yeah, he explains how to simplify buildings and step by step the process. So yeah, rather than street scenes where you got all this detail, it goes to simplify a building by using a singular building first of all, and just get the composition down. And yeah, so really, really nice book. I don't know whether you can get this in Amazon or anything online, but yeah, Alwyn Crawshaw watercolour painting course. So I did mix up some, when this dried, I did mix up a little bit of that darker green for the shrubbery and trees in front of the building. Now what I'm doing here is just going in with a little bit of black pen just to give me some definition on the building. I have done a little line on here and just a few little lines here and there. It does have, I think, a section on line and wash as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit of pen to the windows, just get some definition on this painting. I don't think he did use pen in his painting, but I'm not doing exact. So this is my version. So you got windows here. I just find it quite nice to use a pen with watercolour, even if it's just slight, just some faint lines, especially windows, roofs, anything on buildings like that you want to be nice and defined, just so it stands out a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So just doing these little outlines, and you can already see the way it just adds to the scene. It just helps things to pop a little bit, and it does complement quite well the watercolour that you've put down. Let me know in the comments section if you've come across Alwyn Crawshaw, if you've seen his paintings or his programme from the 90s. On the back of his book it says, has been inspiration to millions of amateur painters and has made 7 popular TV series on painting for Channel 4. He is the author of 20 books on art instruction and runs popular painting holidays and courses. He is a regular contributor to Leisure Painter, and that's a magazine here that comes out. It's a monthly magazine all about painting, and I used to get those. I used to enjoy getting those every month, and it's definitely something that's quite nice to do. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you've come across this English artist who was actually born, he's from Yorkshire, so not too far from me. And I think he lived the rest of his life down the south, sort of Hastings or somewhere around that region, Sussex or something like that. But let me know in the comments if you've what you think of him as a painter. And yeah, it's just a bit of a loss really, and I just thought I'd definitely do this tribute to him, because it's like I said, my journey began when watching his painting shows on TV back in the 90s, when I was just a kid. When I was a kid in college, so I was very young, in my teens, when I first came across watercolour. So yeah, quite sad really, but yeah, I really like this reference, this painting that he did. He does say that, you know, when you paint in buildings, if you just take time to sort of look, observe the buildings, and you can even do this by looking out of your window and just start looking at windows and doors and seeing how big they are and the size. See how the roof sort of drops over the front of the house, and all these sort of things that you want to look at as an artist if you're going to paint the buildings. It just starts with observation first, and of course I think most people do have a smartphone of some sort now, so it's just handy to get out and take those pictures, and you can get those prints and then do some paintings from those, which I'm a fan of doing. If you like this video, this painting and tutorial, then please don't forget to drop me a like. And if you've got anything, any feedback, any comments, then please do drop them in the comment section. It really does mean a lot to me when I get some really nice responses, and I always get time to answer those, which is important to me. So I do value what you say, and I do listen to what you say. If you've got any feedback or any requests or suggestions, then I can definitely tie that into a video, an upcoming video, to help you. I do have plenty of videos here on my channel for beginners, and I want to try and start doing a bit more sort of advanced painting as well, as I try and sort of push the boundaries and do a bit more sort of detailed paintings and maybe a little bit more tight. Let me know what you think. If you prefer a long form video like this, where I'm explaining things, or if you rather sort of have something sort of bite size, edited down. But I just think it's nice to be able to go in and explain what I'm doing, and the colours that I'm using, the brushes, the materials, the paper. By the way, this is £140 rough paper, and I just found this in the spare room, so I'm presuming it's Fabriano Artistico paper, which is fantastic paper to use. And I do like to use these mop brushes, as you can see, that I'm using now. It just gives me a bit of a bigger wash, and it stops things becoming too tight, stops messing and fiddling with details. If you want that sort of looser impressionistic painting like this one. And I just spin the camera around, and yeah, I think I'm fairly happy with it. Hopefully I've done this painting justice. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I really do appreciate your time as you've watched this video, hopefully to the end. But let me just remove the tape now. It's always quite impressive, for me anyway. It's one of my favourite parts of the painting, when it's like the big reveal when you take that tape off. Careful for not ripping the paper like I did, I think, last time. But yeah, that's this watercolour painting, simplistic buildings, simplifying buildings, and this is a tribute to Alwyn Crawshaw, who sadly passed away, I think last week. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe for more content like this. Just don't forget to hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified each time I upload, so you don't miss out on new content. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.